Welcome to the Logic Series Video Tutorial Volume Imaging Guide. This video will help provide you with an introduction on volume imaging using 2D probes. As you've seen, your Logic ultrasound system has the ability to acquire volume Cine Clips. From this clip, you can capture 2D still frame images. And with the raw data functionality, you can adjust gain, TGCs, annotate, zoom, adjust dynamic range and measurements, take off color, crossbeam, and much more, including generating a volume dataset. This can be done with any imaging transducer on the system. With a little practice, you'll get comfortable generating Cine Clips and be able to tap into the benefits of volume imaging. You or your application specialist can set up your system to store clips. If your system is not set up and you would like it set up to collect Cine Clips, consult your application specialist. We recommend a Cine Backup time of 6 seconds and suggest you check the box labeled Enable Mark Cine Control. This will allow you to mark Cine using the lower trackball key and manually generate a freehand volume sweep saved in the form of a Cine Clip. When generating a volume dataset from a freehand sweep, it's important to offer ample frame rate for good orthogonal image quality. Select your transducer and model. Then look at the image parameters in the upper right-hand corner of the monitor to identify your frame rate. With crossbeam on, a nice range for frame rate is 37 to 43 Hz. With crossbeam off, it's 17 to 23 Hz. We tend to like the image quality with our crossbeam on, so try for the 37 to 43 Hz range. To get to the ideal range, you can go to a single focal zone, decrease your sector width on a sector probe, and/or decrease your line density. If you need to reduce your line density, you can go back to the first page and recapture some image quality by increasing your frame average. Increasing frame average does not affect the frame rate. Now that you've adjusted for ideal frame rate, you're set to generate a volume Cine Clip. There are many ways to capture a Cine Clip on a Logic E9. Acquire a Cine Clip the way you're most comfortable or are currently set up to acquire Cine Clips. If you've enabled Mark Cine function, press the lower trackball key labeled Mark Cine and sweep the transducer through the anatomy of interest, then press print without freezing. You now have a Cine Clip stored on your system. It is important to sweep at a steady pace, approximately 1 centimeter per second. You can use the scan distance and the time of your Cine Clip as a guideline for the sweep. If you sweep from the neck to the fundus of the gallbladder and the distance is 6 centimeters, your clip should be approximately 6 seconds. But a steady pace is most important, even if you go a bit faster. With a few practice sweeps, you will be on your way to generating multiple volume Cine Clips. You swept the transducer through the anatomy of interest and stored a Cine Clip, but the system doesn't know how far you scanned. So you may need to adjust the scan distance after the volume is generated. Adjust the scan distance using the fourth toggle from the left to match the scan distance on the system to the actual distance you scanned. If you swept 6 centimeters and your scan distance is set shorter at say 3 centimeters, you'll foreshorten the data set. If you swept 6 centimeters and the scan distance is set at 10 centimeters, you will elongate the data set. Your goal is an isovoxel or isotropic data set, where each plane is closely represented to actual. A steady sweep with enough frame rate and properly adjusted scan distance will get you on your way to manipulating out-of-plane data, including the coronal plane. Thank you for viewing our Logic Series video tutorials. Please come back soon for more tips on using your Logic system.